hunts. Let's talk about Epic.
Yeah, I tell you, we just did a story on this. I worked with Al Gerhardt, Sooner Tea Party, and published last night. Uh, One of the things I kept saying on the phone yesterday, talking to Al, I said, the way I see it, if they really want an answer, this is quick because it's all recorded. It's all either at the education department or in the school, the charter schools databases. It is so within minutes you can get your answer to whether there's a crime or not. And I said, Al, in my opinion, if they don't have this resolved one way or another in the next 10 days, they don't want to resolve it.
Right. The title of the piece is The Witch Hunt for Epic Education Crimes, July 21st. And this is from Sooner Tea Party?
This came from Sooner Tea Party. They're on SoonerPolitics.org on the front page. Al Gerhardt publishes for him. And I worked with him on this, but there are things that have come up since then. So look at the story. It's on Sooner
It's
Politics.
in depth. Very in depth.
But here's what's come up since then. And today I've got some connections to people very deeply involved in this and have been for a long time. First of all, the lies you're being told in the media. Number one, our state auditor, Cindy Byrd, was not asked by the governor to start a new audit, as you're being told. If you look at the governor's directive to the auditor is review the audits you've done over the last 3 years, which there's over 36 of them between the state audits and the federal audits that we get a copy of at the state. And just review them. Be sure we didn't overlook something. Okay.
36.
Yes. And get this. Last spring, Tulsa World runs this unsourced rumor that Epic's under a federal investigation. And in that story, they keep on quoting Tulsa Public Schools personnel, but they don't really say that they're the ones that started this rumor. Here's the thing. When the federal government gives grants for, we'll call them special needs kids, okay? People with disabilities that need extra help in their educational process. Federal government gave a special grant. Epic applied for that and got one. Tulsa Public Schools applied for it and got one. And then you've got some investigation about how did you do? They check up on, did you use this money right? So they were both investigated. Tulsa Public Schools was found in gross violation of the misspent money. Epic, on the other hand, came out clean. So it appears that Tulsa World and Tulsa Public Schools are colluding to blame Epic of the very thing Tulsa Public Schools is the only one guilty of. So this happens over and over again. Here's my point. It's the lead of Al's article is if they want an answer, they can get an answer in less than 10 days. But I don't think they want an answer. Here's why, and it'll lead into this next story from OCPA, is that you get paid as a school, whether it's charter or public, based on your high average enrollment. And Epic has been growing by 1/3 every year. 8 years in a row, a third. Right. They're already at 23,000
because they're being forced by mandatory law, right?
Yeah. Within a year or two, probably two, at the current rate of growth, they'll be bigger than Tulsa Public Schools.
Right.
Within a couple of years, okay?
Which is why the assault.
They're trying to suppress their growth right now. And you know what? After October 1st, they don't care because at October 1st, from my understanding, is the cutoff for your midterm adjustments. If you take a student after October 1st, you don't get paid for that student as a school. See? And now, that goes to the ghost stories is the next part of it. Can I go into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, OCPA's got a story July 22nd. Oklahomans actually paying to educate ghost students in numerous public school districts.
Yes.
And so many, this is the OSBI investigated Epic charter schools for ghost students. All that light being thrown in the area with these investigations and looking into the previous audits, we're finding out that many traditional public schools all across Oklahoma are receiving funding to educate similar ghost students who no longer attend those schools. And for those schools payments are not only legal, but the result of deliberate design.
Yes.
I'm not going to read the whole
No,
story, but you can explain the averaging.
And I called OCPA this afternoon, talked to some of the people there. Brandon Dutcher's been doing a great job for years about education choice. So remember, the core of the allegation against Epic is that they have had these, quote, ghost students being taught by ghost teachers. Well, it is so easy to prove, first of all, in the ghost teachers, on that you got to have W-2s, you got to have Social Security numbers. I mean, you work for the government, believe me, you can't.
You're talking about whether the teachers are showing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being tracked online.
I know. So anyway, but let's go to the ghost students. When a student leaves one school district, their family moves, whatever reason, and goes to another, they're supposed to be unenrolled from one district and added to the other. Well, what incentive does the school district have for taking them off the rolls,
correcting
as
record
pertains to their funding from the state?
The only thing would be a possible punishment for not having done it.
The only people who can be guilty of ghost students would be
the former.
Yeah, the former, and the people are moving to Epic. In fact, Epic had to teach over 2,000 kids last year without getting a dime in remuneration because they moved over after October 1st. I could be wrong in that number. Last I heard it was around 2,000.
Wow.
But anyway, so here's the thing. I find out it's even worse. And you read that OCPA, they do great work. OCPA is great. Is that a public school gets paid on their highest average attendance, not just this year. If this year's low, you can use last year's number if they were better. In fact, if those weren't good, then you can use the year before.
So they get the best of whatever the last 3 years.
Whichever one, not an average of the last 3 years, whatever.
Best.
The best
The
of the
highest.
list. Tulsa's been bleeding students. They complain to the media that they've lost over 500 kids lately just to Epic. Okay? And they've lost a lot more to Union, Jinx, Broken Arrow, Bixby, I mean, all kinds of, so they are getting paid for kids they're not teaching. Gross violations. Right. Now, let me go back to this one, this indictment, or the only bit of evidence they have is one kid, he used to be with Epic.
Hold on, who's they got evidence against who?
Okay. Epic is they're not indicted. That's another lie. All there was, as far as court action, was the OSBI, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, took an affidavit from 6 years ago that was in a jury hearing that Epic had to endure, and it came out with no indictments against Epic. So all this stuff's supposed to be sealed, right? So this young guy decides, you know what? If I could go talk to OSBI, I can get them to pull that affidavit I did 6 years ago. It's supposed to be sealed, but OSBI can take it and use it to get...
If we misapply the law, we can bend that sealed testimony
to go fishing, to get a search warrant. That search warrant...
Wait, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yes.
Seems like
no,
somebody's learning from the
now, this search warrant is limited to one Epic teacher. Average Epic teacher has maybe 2 to 3 dozen students, okay? Just to check that one teacher's laptop to see how long that kid was actually enrolled, how long that kid was assigned to that teacher, and whether that kid was doing schoolwork while they were assigned. Because the Epic people tell me that you don't get to go more than a few weeks of not doing work for Epic before they don't get paid for you anymore.
It's not like they run amok. They are checked by the state. They have to be checked by the state.
Yeah.
It's not like they just go and run
Well,
amok.
also what we're seeing from the OCPA article is that the ghost students are lawful, and they're being misreported by the districts. So you would have to have hard evidence. And there was a teacher recently that would, not for Epic, but not even in the state of Oklahoma, who was caught making up test grades and didn't even give a test.
That's
and was
true.
Giving grades and so
No,
forth.
that's one thing. Epic, the teachers can't cheat for you like they do in public schools.
Are the EPIC teachers allowed to have sex with the students?
They usually don't even see the
Just a
kid face to
question.
face. It's usually over the phone or by webcam.
They can do that.
Yeah. So, okay, don't go there. So, anyway, the thing is, there are no indictments here. There's no grand jury testimony. There's stuff from years
They're
ago.
pulling 6-year-old sealed
Yeah.
testimony out to get at one laptop to see
Yeah.
if they can find anything.
Yeah. Late last night, I talked to one of the attorneys with Richardson Boudreaux, a very prominent law firm who is representing Epic. There are other attorneys that are also working on this. And Al Gerhardt, I'll finish with this. He lays out in the article last night that everything they're alleging, that OSBI is alleging, might be happening. Now, keep in mind, these are not actually indictments. These are things they have a reasonable belief that they need to check. Don't even apply to a charter school. They're being charged with RICO laws, mob laws. I mean, racketeering,
This is the
extortion.
ultimate sign of effectiveness. Epic is being effective. I'll say if there
Yeah.
is any corruption from state or federal money going to Epic, it's because there's always a problem with state or federal money going to
Anywhere.
education, regardless of who gets it. It's
Yeah.
rife for a corruption, and that's just that's a
Yeah,
that's
and
not
I
great.
did also talk today, a good friend of mine who's been with Epic since they started, just about 2011. He's been a part of the Parents Advisory Council, and he's just been thrilled with them. Epic really taps into the parents to say, how can we improve? Now, when's the last time my public school invited parents in just to hear some sounding? How can we improve? That's the kind of thing, successful people always want to take good
Right.
criticism, good feedback. The worst thing about a bureaucracy gone amok is they don't want to hear from anybody anymore.
Yeah, the Epic school system is just putting the public schools on their heels, and I know for a fact that the Tulsa Public Schools feeds ghost students with ghost lunch meals.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have students that have attested to that.
Yep.